Welcome to the section of videos Manage State with the Expense Tracker application. In this video, we will examine the Context API, review a clear goal of the application that will be developed, define state management, and define the Context API. In this project, we will track and review expenses and be able to modify or delete them once they are stored. During the development of this application, we will examine the Context API and how hooks leverage code sharing. As mentioned before, the focus of the Expense Tracker application is to focus on state management and some of the tools provided by the React API. We will utilize React Native Elements as the UI toolkit and React Navigation for navigation within this application. The use of the use reducer and use context hook will be heavily emphasized throughout this section. Here's a quick walkthrough of what we'll be building. The style will be basic since the focus here is state management. When the app launches, we will have a screen that displays the app title, and there will be two buttons, sign up or login. Sign up won't do anything, but login will take us to our home screen. And the point of this is to show how to nest navigators and use the tab navigator within a stack navigator. On the home screen, we will get the expenses and display some useful data. This is a simple screen that will give you a snapshot of the current expense total. Now you'll notice on the bottom, we have multiple tabs that will be utilized to move through the app. So using the tabs, we can move to the Add Expense screen. This screen will be a simple form that collects information about the expense the user wants to save. Once the expense is submitted, the totals on the home screen will increase. If we navigate to the transaction screen, we'll be able to review all of the expenses, and we'll be able to see the most recent expense added. This will be a scrollable list, and each item will be pressable. On press of the item, we will see a detail view, and there will be two buttons, one to update the details and the other to delete. If we press delete, it will remove this data and decrement the total on the home screen. On press of update, an overlay will display, and there will be a form to update. Some items to focus on are setting up the state so it can be accessed from multiple screens. Then we'll need to handle the complex navigation to provide a great user experience. Lastly, we need to manage the flow of data to mutate state. Some key stories we'll work through are allowing the users to see a total of expenses. Also, we want users to be able to add an expense. Another item is allowing users to see the list of data. Now let's take a deeper look at some of the concepts of this app. Raquel Moss, in her article, What is State and Why Do I Need to Manage It?, states that state management makes the state of your app tangible in the form of a data structure that you can read from and write to. It makes your invisible state clearly visible for you to work with. Throughout this course, we've utilized the useState hook to handle state within our components. But what about the state on a larger scale? When developing applications, you'll most likely run into questions like, how do I track user interactions? Or how do I track changes on the server or based off of user interactions? The solutions to these issues is solved by state management. State management can be thought of as a global data in our application that manages a specific type of logic. A benefit of leveraging the idea of state management is that you gain a structure on how to handle all state-related questions, such as defining the way data should flow in your application. This will also clarify how input and output should be handled. So if we abstracted our components in a way that they don't care about how data is handled, they will reflect the input given and provide outputs for our users, which will lead to more reusable code. Lastly, when state is managed properly, our UI will reflect state changes right away and will respond to user actions efficiently leading to an overall pleasant user experience. The React documentation states that the context provides a way to pass data through the component tree without having to pass props down manually at every level. In short, since React 16.3, a stable version of context can be thought of as a built-in way to share and manage state, which means not having to pull in any external library, which could one day conflict with React.